All right, ladies, let's do this today.
Yes.
I am so thrilled to find the common time on the wildest and busiest calendar of these women. So thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to do this. And a big shout out to Sonia because a few weeks ago, she's the one who asked me, why don't you start the podcast? And I said, life is happening too fast. I don't have time. She said, no. You do it. You invite me. You invite other people. We'll create the topics. So that day I came home and I started thinking about it, and I said, my son Amit, who is 28 years old, he just moved out of the house in August, and I had been going through a tornado of emotions and I was confused. I didn't know what was happening to me. So I thought, okay, let's create a podcast on mother and son relationships. And let me invite some fellow moms who happen to be my friends also, and especially whose sons are in all different stages of life. So that's the beauty of that. What I don't want this podcast to sound is like we're strong, independent women and we got this and we have figured it out. Right? So I want this conversation to be real and authentic, where we can talk about our fears and insecurities and imperfections, and focus is on we're figuring it out. We are preparing ourselves, we're getting ready for that moment, right? So let's talk it out, let's share, let's tear it up if we need to, however we need to do. So let's talk about what it means to love and let go. And this is my kind of party, people. Let's go. Okay. So before we get started, let's start with some introductions because many of you might not know the specific details, and our audience also needs to know who you are. So introduce yourself. What do you do for work, and how old is your son, and what stage of the life he's in? And while you're talking about that, think about a word, a phrase, or a sentence that captures the relationship you and your son at this phase of life. So let's see, who want to start?
I'll take a stab at it.
All right. Okay.
All right. It's the easy part, that's why. It's just facts. So I'm a senior business director. I work at a chemical company. I've been there for 15 years. My relationship with my son, so I have two sons, actually. So I have one that's almost 21 years old, and then my oldest is 22. My 21-year-old, my younger son, we're close, but it's on his terms, his readiness when he wants to talk. So we get very, very deep conversations. My oldest one, definitely a mutual respect, but I see that slowly. So he's graduated college, he's working, still living at home. He has his own life, whether it's partying, whether it's working. There is no, Mom, I'm going here. It's, oh my God, my son's not home. Wait, what just happened? And we used to have a thing. Nobody leaves anywhere without saying, bye, Mom, love you. So there was just that. So our relationship is still like mutual respectful. But I feel like that closeness, that gap is getting bigger and bigger. And each day I have to let go more and more as he's experiencing life. Younger one is he's a junior in college, living at home also, although next year he's decided he wants a year away, which I think is great.
Is he the one who's doing a math major?
The oldest one, the 22-year-old, is the math major, So
Nice.
younger one, finance.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Sonia, you want to go? Yeah.
That came too quickly. So I worked for radiology. I've been there just for 2.5 years. Before that, I worked here and there, but never continuously because I wanted to spend time with my son. I have only one son, and parenting was the most important thing for me. So I let go of my career to take care of him and raise him. My son is almost 21, just like yours. He's a junior in college. And how I describe my relationship with him, unconditional and very soulful. I feel very connected to him, probably because he's the only child in the house. And he's also very much like me. Like, he has deep conversations with me, and it's beautiful. I love him.
Love it.
Okay.
I guess I go next, right? So, as you know, Jayashree Gandhi. I work as a therapist. I have my own practice. I worked in a couple of settings in community mental health center, in hospitals, in drug rehab. So I have been through the whole gamut, the whole spectrum. And now here I am raising my son now on a regular basis because I was so out of the picture when he was growing up that I do feel like we have a special bond where now we just kind of look at each other and we know what we are saying. So again, I would water the same word from you, Sonia. Soulful is the connection
Yes.
that I have with him. He's 17. He's a junior in high school, and so he's ready to launch pretty soon into the college life. So there's that little bit of that hesitation as to what's going to happen. But yeah, here we are. And so the phrase for me is autumn signifies, loving and letting go. So that's pretty much it. We are in the season of loving
Beautiful.
and letting go. So,
Beautiful.
That's I have to use that.
Very, very inspiring, actually. So, my name is Sukleen, and I am a mom of three. The oldest one being the boy. He is 14 and just started his freshman year at high school. So, we are figuring out a lot right now. He is, stepping into new world, testing his independence. Those are like new footings for him, and with him those are really new areas to explore for us as well. As immigrants from India, this is our first child going to a high school. So we are learning as we are, it's like him growing and us growing together. So it is definitely. And the phrase that I can actually connect with right now, since we are talking about letting it go, I will say yes, letting it go, but staying close. So I'm watching him growing up, moving probably into a different phase of his life right now. And like I said, it's a lot of independence at the moment. But I also want to just stay close and watch and be protective of him.
Of course.
So,
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah, when you say nerve-wracking, both of my kids went to my school because I was teaching at that time. So I would never know the level of anxiety that mothers go through, especially immigrants go through, right?
Definitely, yeah.
So I am Babita Kukreja, and I'm the department chair in one of the high schools in New Jersey, and I supervise mathematics department and computer science. That's my professional level. On my personal level, I'm always hunting and looking for the ways to learn and grow in different facets of my life. That has always been my push. So my son is 28, and as I said before, he just moved out in August. The relationship with him, as far as I can remember, I just unconditionally supportive, both sides. And I always wanted him to know that no matter what choices he makes in life, no matter what paths he chooses, what career in future, who he marries, it's going to be his decision. And I've set my intention already that I'm going to back him up. And same thing I see from him also. So, I just feel that support is the highest form of love that you could do to someone. So unconditional support, that's how I would describe both of us for each other. Yeah. So we're all here because we're all walking into our personal growth journey, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. I have handpicked all of you, right? Do you think our personal growth journey has influenced the way we parent or the kind of mother we have become? And or do you think you have made conscious decisions to parent your son a little differently versus your daughters?
I think that's a very good question, and I want to take on that one. So, like I mentioned, I feel that the biggest part in our lives that plays a major role, even in our parenting, is, at least in my and my husband's life, is our moving into this country. So that has affected, or probably, I don't know if it has affected, it would have been different if we were back in India. But moving into this country was not an easy road for us. There were so many uncertainties, including work visas, and then, getting into the the whole process of, acquiring the green card, becoming a permanent resident, there were a lot of levels of frustrations, a lot of, there was a pressure and stress involved, and it affected me personally. And I'm talking on behalf of both of us, actually, my husband and I. But since we are discussing more about the mother and the son relationship, I would say it's the whole frustration and the pressure of this process spilled over my life as a mother. It just took me to another level. It changed me as a person. So there were times when I was more frustrated than I should have been. And that affected my children, and that affected my relationship with my son also, because he's the oldest one. So kind of it came down to, days when, I had to take it easy and just be gentle towards myself so that I could be a better mom. Definitely not just to my son, but to my daughters too. So I feel that with my son, it's like I'm a very aware mother. I take that pride in saying that I'm aware, even if I'm not using that awareness in every second of my life or every day in my life. But that has affected my relationship with my son, because if I am aware about what is affecting me and my relationship with my kids, I am very consciously taking care of that problem. So, just this whole journey, we have grown together. I have grown as a person. I've changed as a person, not just grown into, I use the word grown because I definitely have improved in some ways, and also not improved in so many other ways. There's learning and unlearning, right? So that has definitely affected, my whole journey has affected of the way I mother my kids, So yeah.
The history that we carry within ourselves impacts the future.
Sure. Yes, definitely. That's right.
So, yeah. So one very significant factor. I have an older daughter. She's a junior in college. So when raising them differently, I always thought I was very much like I didn't care about the gender roles. I was very equal towards them. But she pointed out to me once, like, how sometimes I approach her is very different than how I approach my son. And then it almost became like my daily kind of a meditation, like to focus as to how am I doing with the two of them? Am I subconsciously, doing some things that are different for my son just because he's younger, 4 years younger than my daughter? And I did realize that there were times I would go easy on him. I would be softer on him because I thought, and I also had this mom's guilt because I had spent so much time with my daughter and not so much time with my son because I was working so much that I almost felt like I needed to be a little softer with him. So, which I think once I realized that, it was like, okay, light bulb went off and like, okay, now I need to do better. So that's the difference, probably raising a daughter and a son, is that you subconsciously have to see what patterns you are playing out and then just kind of focus on that. So.
I'll go. I think my personal growth journey has a huge impact on the way I parent my children. Growing up, I was always longing for someone to believe in me and trust in me, and based on the society's culture at that time, it was negative reinforcement was the strategy, parenting strategy. So I had promised to myself long ago before my marriage that when I have the kids, I'm going to be that person for them. So it started from there. But then the work that I've been doing on myself, raising two children in the house, daughter versus boy, it helped me recognize the strengths of both of them and not ever compare both of them, and really acknowledge that the things I can ask Shagun, I will never ask Pathik. And if I ask him, I can never ask. Like if I talk about, let's declutter a room, Shagun will have a panic attack. and she'll find a way to leave the house. Whereas Amit would come and he would say, okay, I'm sitting over here. You call me, whatever. So because I was working on myself, that helped me understand, okay, there are certain things I can't ask my daughter, there are certain things I can't ask my son. So that helped me a lot in building the relationship with them, because that avoided a lot of chaos and tension in the house there. And then on top of that, I think when I was raising a son, and I heard you say that, and I've always said that raising him, I felt like I'm raising somebody else's husband, somebody else's father. So it's females always lead the house. Females go and I barely ask Shagun to do the dishes, but my son has been the dishwasher manager in the house. I don't let anybody do the dishes because I said, don't fire my son. So I think I have made a lot of conscious decisions that my son has to do this. My daughter is going to learn. So it went the other way around. But if I wasn't working on myself, I don't know. Maybe I will be dealing with them in similar way, but it is different. It is different the way you do that. Yeah.
No, so I'm blown away by a couple of things that you said. So I have two sons, so there isn't really so much of a daughter and a son situation. But both my sons, despite having the same parents, the same genetics, the same upbringing, same house, same everything, everything the same, and they're even close in age, so really even their life experiences
And they're so
all
different.
same, worlds apart. And so every day I feel like I have to keep changing. One's an introvert and one's an extrovert, and those are very simplistic terms. There's a lot of extra little nuances amongst each of those even. But I was very fortunate. You know, I had a mom who was extremely understanding and patient, and my sister and I are also worlds apart. So this was a mom raising two daughters, all the same genes, everything, should be the same, and the outcome was so different. So I was cognizant of that with my sons, that let them be them. And let support them. I loved what you said about support is one of the highest forms of love, because to each of my sons I have to explain in different ways how much I support them and how much I love them. So it changes every day because they're changing every day. When one needed an exorbitant amount of let's say support or confidence or a push, the other one might not have. And now the role, like it seems like every year it changes a little bit. So yeah, that's one of the takeaways that I had from my mom, was really listen to them. And before I go into whether it's lecture mode or teaching mode or teachable moment mode, start with, let me understand your perspective.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if I go directly
It changes
to
the
mine,
whole scenario.
if
Yep.
I went, and I've done it the wrong way too. And if I go
We all have done
directly to
it. And we all have done it.
they turn off. They completely turn off. So we start with, okay, take a deep breath. What do you tell me? When do you start? And then I'll go into what I need.
You think you're the only therapist here? We all are unofficial therapists.
No, it changes every day.
Yeah.
We are all equal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sonia.
So my personal growth started once I moved to this country, like you so clean, because when I was in India, I was in this cocoon. Like in India, you're raised very differently.
I think
You're
we all are.
protected.
Yeah, yeah.
And so many opportunity you lose
Yeah.
because you're a girl.
Yeah.
Right. And then they won't let you go out, work late at nights or whatever. So what I gauged from that when I become a mother, I would raise my child as a human being and not as somebody that I own.
Yep.
I won't decide what he likes, what he doesn't like, what he wants to be, what he doesn't want to be. He has a soul, a destiny, and I will just let it flow. And that was my personal growth, to be honest, right? And to treat him not just a kid, because he sometimes, I'm very surprised with the things that he has said to me when he was little. Like I remember once, I was going through something emotionally, and I was just talking to him that I'm very disturbed. And he's sitting back in the car, in the seat, so you can imagine how young he was, probably 5th or 6th grader, and he told me, Mom, what will happen if you hold a cactus? I said, it will hurt me. I cannot hold a cactus. No, you do, and then you hold it tighter. What's going to happen? I said, it's going to hurt me. Tighter? I said, I'm going to bleed. So he taught me when he was in 5th grade how to let go of
Wow.
things that are hurting you.
Wow.
And I was like, it is so true. And I remember Sadhguru saying this once, that the way that us Indian parents, and probably a lot more, raise their children thinking, oh, okay, we own you. You will do what we say. this is what is best for you. And I was like, I'm never going to raise my child like that, because his intelligence is equivalent or maybe more than me. Like the things that he can teach me, I'm open to that, you know. And I think that's the only thing that I did differently. I treated him like my age, or even, I always say he's got an old soul. The things he says to me, I'm just amazed. So that's the personal growth that happened. And it was only possible because of my husband, because he gave me the wings to fly, to be who I really was. Like, I was in a box in India. And when I came here, he's like, you be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So and that's how I raised my son even today.
Yeah.
You're intelligent than me. You know more than me. Teach me.
Yeah.
You know?
It has taken me forever to really internalize that. We don't own them. We just gave the birth to them.
Correct.
And once you really, really understand, your journey becomes so peaceful.
Very
so
peaceful. Because then you don't have any expectations. The only thing you expect is for them to be happy.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yes.
Nothing more.
Safety and happiness.
Yeah,
This
be
is what we're
safe. I
talking
always
about.
tell them, be safe, be safe. That's my favorite word. Just stay safe.
I think my part of my fear of letting go, and this is probably later on in this, but it just came to my mind and I didn't want to forget it. As most parents in this world, we're that species that wants our kids to be better than us in every way.
Yeah.
Like there's no competition. You know, if I had a daughter, I want her to be beautiful. If I had a son, I want him to be, you know, like you just want them to be better than you in each and everything. And my fear is they're gonna come into an area or a space in life, whether it's their significant partners, their job environment, whatever it is, where that person, those people that are around them, don't have their best interests. So that's my fear: is no one's got your back more than your mom and
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and even, you know,
It's so true.
and that's my fear.
Yeah.
Like, stay connected, because I'll
Yeah.
always, as long as I'm alive,
Yeah.
I will always have your back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always joke with my son, like, if you're in jail, none of your friends are coming to bail you out.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
So be nice to me.
So that's a good segue into our next question.
Okay.
Talk to us about the biggest emotional transition you had in your life, turning point with him, whether it was the first day of the school, first day of the college, first day of moving out. I think we're creating the podcast to really figure out how do you feel when you know your son doesn't need you the same way. That is the focus point over here. I think I'll start with that because of that we started creating the podcast. My son Amit moved out in New Jersey. It's not like a different continent. I don't want people to think I don't know what continent he's moving to. 30 minutes away. My relationship with my son has never been emotional. It has always been practical / logical. Because if you put me in a photocopy machine, he comes out. and there are so many ways we make the decision absolutely the same way. We actually have gossip sessions when we talk about other members of the family.
Oh my God.
So we're very logical. Okay, we gotta do it. Let's do it. I made a living will. I made him the in charge because he's the only practical person in the house. So we never had an emotional kind of stuff with them until when he was moving out. I was fine because I was busy in whatever. After he moved out, and that was the time when I saw you also, I don't know. I don't know what was happening in my body, and my body doesn't know how to stress. And my body's not as familiar with that whole stress kind of thing. And I'm just laying down in the bed and I'm thinking about it, and I just feel, okay, tears. Why tears? I'm driving and I'm crying. I'm sitting in the office with the full makeup on and I'm crying. And I say, what is happening over here? Because I'm just so confused now. And I say, wait a second. I prepared for this moment for the entire 3 decades. I knew this day was going to come. So it can't be just him moving out. It has to be something else. So when I saw you, I was in the that was the week plus 3-4 more days. I'm a lot better now, but at that time I had to really internalize what is happening. I'm ready. There was 0% doubt in my mind, body, and soul, where I never thought he should not move, he should stay with us, he should take care of us, like normally stereotyped parents do that. Crystal clear. I've never been crystal clear or anything other than this. So I said, why now? Why? But I allowed my body to feel what it was feeling. So if I was crying, I didn't stop it. I said, all right, let me see what's happening. Let it come. And then I started thinking about it. My daughter also had moved out for a year, 2 years ago. And I said, I didn't feel like that.
You didn't?
So I didn't. Not that I didn't miss her, but I said, what's the difference here? Right? And then I started thinking about every family. The house is an organization.
Correct.
And most of the families' houses are run by females. Females are leading it. Kitchen to the kids, to the house, to outside and the work and all of that. Females still know how to manage their priorities. And daughters move out and they get married, they still stay close to their parents. But when boys move out and they get married, they enter into their partner's leadership.
Correct.
Right? So I said, this is it. Maybe this is what is bothering me, that for all these years I've been lecturing all those moms that no, let them go. And I prepared myself and I'm still feeling this way. So I said, okay, so what is the exact thing that is bothering me right now, right? So I said, all right, this is it. He's moving out. You give birth to a human body. You raise them, like, I'm like mad. You raise them for 28 years? They leave, and then I don't have any rights. So I'm setting up as an apartment. There was Amazon Prime, and I say, all right, so let's buy everything. I'm putting into his wish list. I bought everything the way I wanted, because I said after that I won't have any right on that. I have such nice sugar and those canisters, the big ones, and my daughter said, he doesn't even drink chai. Why you bought him? And I said, no, he needs to have a class. Because back of the mind, I knew this is it. After that, I won't be able to, once he gets married, I won't have any right.
Correct.
So I said, so what's bothering me, that this is the moment that I need to pull myself back. The magnitude of love is not changing. I'm still loving it. But how is this now? I have to redefine the whole thing. That parenting didn't stop, it just shifted. It's expanding now, and I don't know what it looks like. I'm looking forward to discover that more. I don't know how, but I am setting some intentions, because this was happening the last week of August and almost first week of September. So I've had about 3-4 weeks to really process it. And I'm just setting some intentions moving forward, how I'm going to act, but I don't know yet, because this is a new zone for me. But it was amazing. Like, it hit me so hard that I never thought. So then I had to go back to a few of my mom friends. I apologized to them. And I said, when you were talking about this, I don't think I understood you. And this is the moment you have to prepare yourself. This doesn't come automatic. You really have to prepare yourself, know your boundaries, because I have been the central point for 28 years. Now it's okay for me not to be the center point. I'm still going to be needed in different ways. This is a time for me to step back. I think once I got to peace with that, my tears just stopped. It was a very tough time, and the work was so busy, and the house. And then I told my husband, and he's saying, "Why were you crying?" And I said, "All right." So I think that is the only time I've experienced that. And because of that, we said, okay, let's internalize more and let's create a podcast. Let's invite more moms, and it's gonna give some space for everybody to talk about their feelings, and maybe to our audience who are listening to us, they can relate to what they're going through right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Who wants to go next? About the
I
transition?
actually want to listen to all of you because mine has just moved to high school, but I want to listen to what you guys have to share, and then definitely I'll be putting in my thoughts.
Yeah.
Why don't you go next, Sonia?
I think my biggest transition was when I dropped him off for the first year of college.
Right.
That was I was, even thinking about it makes me very emotional because, again, it's hard to cut that cord, It's very hard. And I was trying to hold my tears because I didn't want him to feel or see me like that, because I wanted him to stay strong and, flourish in that environment and not
Right,
think
right.
about home and anything. And I remember that 2-hour drive, I was just crying. My tears were rolling, and I was by myself in the car because we have to take 2 cars. And by the time I reached home, I stopped crying because I'm a very spiritual person, and I thought God just used me as a vessel
Yeah.
to bring this soul in this life. He has his own destiny. He has his own purpose, and he needs to fulfill that, and I just have to be supportive. And there is no way that I can make him weak. My job is to give him that support so that he's strong and he's able to fulfill that destiny that he's destined for.
Yeah.
And I think when I thought that way, I'm like, he's not mine. He belongs to the world. He belongs to his destiny. You
That's
know?
a reminder to us all the time.
Yeah, and it's still giving me chills thinking like that because I feel so blessed. Because while growing up, I thought I can never become a mom. I was scared of taking medications, scared of injections. I said, giving birth? Forget about it. Like, there is no way. I remember telling my husband, like in the beginning of the marriage, I'm like, listen, I cannot become a mother. I cannot bear the pain or anything like that. And honest to God, my pregnancy was the most smoothest. And it was an amazing experience. So as I said, like I'm just a vessel, and God gave me that power to bring this life out. And now he belongs to the world. He doesn't belong to me. I was given a job. Like God gave me a job. This person is coming out. Now your job is to raise him, take care of him, teach him the right things, send him in the world so that people will be happy to have him around and he won't be a nuisance to the society. And that was my job. And as I said, I was raising somebody's husband, somebody's father, somebody's boyfriend, somebody's son. That was my... Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope he's proud of me.
Sure he
Yes.
is. I'm sure he is.
That's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I can go next. So for me, the emotional transition, because this is happening right now, I can think this is the most important one because my son has just gotten, he's going to be 18 pretty soon. So it's like that phase of life. He's a junior. He's going to be a senior soon. So, but he's going to be 18 in March. So we were doing some paperwork for him, and they were like, oh, he's going to be 18 in 6 months, in less than 6 months. And that was like a big kind of a rude awakening. Like, how is that happening? And he's also driving a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
So
boy.
that's
Tell
like,
me about it.
I forgot.
that's like my prayers. Like, I'm not a person who prays to, like, does any kind of jobs or mantras, but like I'm doing one of those things right now because as much as we want to protect them and we want them to be independent, it's also that fear, like what if he goes
Yeah.
out there,
Correct.
he does something that he is not supposed to do.
Correct.
How am I going to take care of that? So is that kind of balancing act where I want to let you go, but I also want to hold on to you.
Correct.
And I don't know what is the wisdom, like when should I let you go and when should I hold on to you? So it's that every time he hops into the car, I'm like, okay, you want to drive, but let's do it in a way that it's easier on you.
Correct,
So
yeah.
so it's a learning curve for me. It's going to be a roller coaster. Yes. And I don't think I've come to the other side as yet. I think I would be there in a couple of months. But right now for me, it's the whole, I'm allowing myself to feel every bit of it, like the fear, the excitement, the, sometimes even this grief, like, okay, my baby's changing, he doesn't look the same anymore, you know. Now he's not, when I hug him, he's more he has more bones and
Yeah.
less, you know,
Yeah, baby
less
fat is
baby
gone.
chubbiness, you know. So, and he's towering over me before I could just
Yeah.
lift him.
Yeah.
So,
True.
so all of that, so all of those changes. But yes, so that's I don't have any deep wisdom here to say, and you know, me being a therapist, I learn everything from my clients, you know, and they teach me so much. So I'm not here on the high seat telling anybody what
Yeah.
to do. We are all in this process
And we're all
together,
learning.
and
Mhm.
we are all learning. So that's how I
True.
see it.
For sure.
But that driving thing is huge.
Yeah.
I was very
Sanjit can go.
scared. I was too scared.
Kanjit, you wanna talk?
I feel like I'm all over the place. So it's interesting. Though my kids are in college, I have to relearn letting go. So I think when we came to this country many, many years ago, as you could tell from my accent, we broke all the molds. I actually had to let go of my kids at 3 and 4. So I had to practice it way back then. And I think I got pretty good at it for just the way life is. So yeah, I got divorced, right? So I had to let them go to their dad's house. So I had to trust, even at 3 and 4, I had to let go. I did maybe a couple of times go into the parking lot and stay there all night and just watch. Like, are they? But you have to just trust. You have to trust. Actually,
Right.
you have to trust.
That's tough.
Not just your kids, but the universe.
Correct.
That's their father. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't going to hurt them. He
Right.
wasn't going to do anything wrong.
Right.
So I had to trust that, you know, and even if maybe he didn't give them their vitamins, I had to trust that it's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to teach them, like, you know, build your own habits, like
Yeah.
ask for your vitamins, you know, like you just say, hey, daddy, we're supposed to have this. So I had to let go early on. And I think maybe because they actually chose not to go away to college. So my whole life I was preparing, oh, that moment it's going to happen. I've got to let them go. And then we got hit with the pandemic. I'm like, this is great. They're going to stay with me forever. So I forgot about letting go.
Yeah.
And after the pandemic, when they chose, and even now, my son graduated, was always at home. He's working, still at home. My youngest one, so I'm going backwards because my youngest one said his senior year he wants to live away. And all that preparation that I was like, I don't have to worry about that. Like now it's like there's
coming
3 and
up.
4 again and I'm
Yeah.
freaking out. So as I'm listening to all of you, even though I practiced letting go so long ago, like you're always like, you reach a
Correct.
new level
Absolutely.
of letting go.
Letting go.
So yeah.
That's what we call a work in progress.
Working
Yeah.
It's unlocking. It's like a game. You're
Right,
unlocking
right.
levels.
So, but I did want to ask them at some point. I would like to ask them, apart from the pandemic, did they choose to stay at home because there was so much back and forth between their dad's house and me? So I was just wondering, like, were they looking for stability because they were always going back and forth? If
Yeah.
you think, I mean, it was disruptive to their life.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I think I'm always going to have that divorced parent guilt of, you know, maybe we could have made things work out. I don't know, probably not. But I'll ask them one day. I will have that conversation.
You guys have so much to talk about. I guess I'm still getting there. It's a process, but I feel letting go is it, like you said, Kanjit. It starts very early. It's just that it hits us more when we actually see them going physically apart from us.
Yeah.
But it's just little steps on the way. Like I feel like I had tears in my eyes, or I was just crying my heart out even when he graduated from elementary to middle school, then middle school to now high school. And now I feel like this is the most emotional transition for me at the moment, seeing him going to high school. And I'm not gonna say he doesn't need me so much right now. He still needs me in a high schooler way, giving him independence, giving him space, small steps, baby steps at a time from my side too. I guess he wants to take big steps, right? He's ready. He wants to jump, but I want to take those small steps because I want to make sure that what I'm doing is right, that I'm providing him the support that he needs, that I'm emotionally present for him, I'm physically present for him. He needs our guidance. He needs us around to keep him grounded too, right? Because they do not realize that, but they are still dependent on us. I mean, I guess it just becomes very different when they physically move out of the house, that it hits them too. Now that they will be making all those decisions, they are responsible for their own lives. They want to be independent, but they want to be protected too. So I see that with my son all the time, that he looks out for that safety and protection from us, but at the same time he wants us to understand that this is my time to just go out, maybe watch a football game with his friends, or just hang out with them, walk from school to home. Now that the high school is so close, that he's like, I want to walk home with my friends. And that is a very huge thing for me.
Yeah, of course.
Because I've never let him walk from school to home. But those are little steps, but huge in a very different perspective.
Right.
So,
So let's go back home. Let's talk about the cultures, especially South Asian cultures. I think this laugh is because we all know we belong to the most dysfunctional society in so many different ways. Where the culture for the moms, the expectation is to hold on to their children. My children, I love them. And Dr. Shefali, I love it because when she says, she's the one, let me tell you, till 2010, I felt I should have gotten the Nobel Prize to be the best mom ever. And when I saw her first TED Talk, that now I have literally watched 15 times, it's 11 minutes only, and I've shared with everybody that I knew, and I said, holy crap, there's work that I need to do on myself. And now I can't even say anything, because if I raise my voice, my kids would say, Dr. Shefali wouldn't approve this right now. So let's talk about our own cultures where mothers are expected to do this, and that turns into such unhealthy dynamics. Let's talk about what patterns do you see, and how are we breaking that cycle that we don't become like that, right? Whoever wants to jump in.
I can go for that one.
Sure.
So I think a lot of our culture focuses on parenting. They equate parenting with control.
Yep.
So if you know how to control your children, because my mom was big on that. If she thought, because we followed everything she said, we were the best kids, and we had to fit into that mold. We had to live up to that perfection. So so there was no space for exploration. There was no space to make mistakes. There was only space to be this person, right? So I had very consciously decided, even growing up, every time my mom did something that I didn't like, I would put it into my memory, and I would be like, nope, this is not happening. I'm not going to do this with my kids, right? So that the unhealthy dynamic that started was control, showing a good face outside the family. We can be fighting in the house, but once you step outside the house, we don't show that we have issues, we have conflicts. And I don't want to put up that face. If we have a conflict, we have a conflict. It's okay to disagree and still be respectful. So those are the two big ones for me. And the way I keep on breaking that is to consciously, again, remind myself on a regular basis that, I am going back to that control. I am expecting my daughter or my son to score a certain GPA or, do well on SATs or get to this college. And when it doesn't happen, I'm allowing myself to sit with that disappointment. It's not about me. It's about, how you were saying, Sonia. It's their destiny.
It's their destiny.
It's their destiny. We have this term dharma in our Hindu text, right, which says that every person is born with certain goals to meet in their life. And if that is their goal, if my daughter decides to go study English, even though she has the potential to be whatever she wants to be, that's her journey, that's her path. And I have to let her be, because I don't know where that path is going to take her, and who am I to decide that? So I wasn't allowed that, and so that taught me how not to do that. And I watched this so much. I think I was even more fortunate than most of my other family members, because they were not even allowed to dress a certain way or speak a certain language.
Tell me about it.
Or food choices, so, or who to hang out with, or whom to talk to, right? So I think in every single decision that you make in how you even sit down for dinner, right? Who's serving the dinner or who's sitting at
Right,
the dinner table.
right.
All those small little things make a lot of change. Like my husband and I, we are a team. So it's never going to be like he's going to be sitting at the table and I'm cooking all the time. So all those small little gestures. My father would not even get up and get a glass of water. So those I had made sure that I would choose somebody as a life partner that does not do that.
Right.
That just see me as an equal. So
Equal, yeah.
so that pattern, I think I have already changed in so many different ways, but I still fall back because we still live in a culture where you know you hang out with friends and they talk about, oh, your husband helps out you so much, I have no help at home, and then you have to justify why it's fair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know you're constantly fighting
Yeah.
the system in
Yeah.
so many ways, but then you're still trying to build your own system.
Correct.
And I always go back to my husband and I tell him, I'm really grateful for everything you do, but I think you have to also understand that this is not something that you're doing for me. We are in this together.
Each other,
Right?
yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah, I had to literally announce in my house every time my son asked, my daughter asked, my husband said, "Do you need any help?" And I said, "No, I don't need any help. But this is your house.
Right.
On the property paper that belongs to you too. So you need to be up."
Yeah.
And you need to figure it out what needs to be done. You're not helping me. That was very clear in the house. So for me, like we're so dysfunctional, like growing up and everything. I echo that when you said that. Mothers, and I still, our generation, 5 years younger generation, they're still in the same dark zone of holding on to the kids. And sometimes it's because of love. Oh, we love our kids, right? And sometimes it's out of fear of losing relevance, but they are holding on to the kids. And I love the way Dr. Shafali says that every mother loves their kids, but they say, "Oh, but I love my kids." And she said, "Well, it's not about the love here, right? Because when you're doing so much control, it damages, it brings up control and the guilt and the pressure on the kids when they become adult because they need their independence." And I can't tell you how many of those moms that I've seen who feel, I would say, who compare the closeness with the need of poking into their kids' life in every matter. They feel that's closeness because I'm involved. And no, that's not what the closeness is. And I remember so clearly my daughter in kindergarten, and I'm talking to her arts teacher, and I'm saying, I don't know, I am spending all the time with her. I'm with her. So she said, maybe you need to step back. Because that's how I grew up. That's how I know that mothers are supposed to be in every part of that. That's not closeness. And that's where we need to shift from, I need to be physically close to you to, let me let you go, and I believe in you, and you're going to be doing that, right? And breaking that cycle for me started with working on my inner self, because everything starts with the awareness. Everything. If I had to get a tattoo, I would get life is awareness, because everything falls back to that, right? When you know better, you do better. So working on myself and then learning to believe in my son's abilities, that whatever choices he make, I'm there. I'm just gonna support, and I'm just gonna be there. And discovering my own identity also, that I am somebody beyond this motherhood also. And then I'm still chasing out my dreams, and I'm still finding the joy and purpose in my own life when I'm not acting as a mother. So just duplicate of everything what Jayashree said, but in addition to that, it just started with the work that I've been doing it, and it's always going to be a work in progress, but so much learning has occurred in the past 30 years.
True.
But what do we do? So I think we all feel this. We're saying this is true. What do we do when we are a sandwich generation, where we're working on our self-awareness and growth, but we're still involved with our parents, and our kids are watching us with our parents, and our parents haven't quite reached that? Because I went to show my father
And they're not going
and my father-in-law, ex-father-in-law, one of the Shafali videos that I think you turned me on to, and they're like, yeah. Like, what is this? They could not comprehend any of it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. I can only work on me.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
my kids.
And it is not their fault either.
No, exactly.
because-
That's
Yeah, that's right,
exactly
right.
what
because
I was
that's
gonna
what
say, yeah.
That's what
they
they grew up
know.
on. That's
You know,
all
that's
right.
what they know. Like
Right.
when I was controlled by my mother, I had so much like grudge in my heart for her. Like, why am I'm not allowed all those opportunities? Like like you said, I was not allowed to talk to boys. I was not allowed to go out of the house without telling them where I am. There were so many opportunities that I lost. Like I could have been anybody, but I couldn't because the only goal was to get her married and send her away.
Send her.
Responsibility
It's like a
over
property.
exactly the like you own that person. And I just never understood that. Like, how can you not see that I am a human being? I have likes, dislikes, choices, you know? That was, they were, they said, we are protecting you. You don't know how bad the world is. And probably it was.
but
But I would say just
you would give me the
like
coping
give me
tools.
exactly give me the tools to deal with it, and I dealt with it. Like you know, traveling in local buses in Delhi is not easy.
No.
I would travel with a safety pin.
Yep.
Anybody tries to touch me, here
I've
I come.
done that in
You know,
But the point is that our mothers or the women at that time, they didn't even know about those
Yeah.
tools. So we cannot actually blame them directly. And
No,
I'm not
no.
saying that you
Not
are,
blame,
but I'm
right.
just saying they just didn't have those tools themselves to hand it over to us.
no, I
Yeah.
know.
The best
So
is
talking
so-
about
so-
what happened is looking at something and defining it and then saying we don't want to do this. It's not like, oh, you were bad, so I'm not going to be like this. It's not about blaming.
Connect.
It's about
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
about,
yeah.
It's about redefining what we want
Totally.
to do.
And I feel like this whole unhealthy dynamics that we are talking about, you've mentioned love, you've mentioned fear, and you've also you've also mentioned protection. So these are actually the three core things that belong to the parenting style then.
Yeah.
And I guess, and it is still the core part of the parenting now.
But there is a difference.
Those three things. But yes, I was going to say, but it's how you handle those three feelings and how you move on with it. I am still struggling. I had very open-minded parents. I'm coming from a very opposite, side
Background.
of the family background, where I was given independence when I was probably not even in middle school. Just do what you want to do, be yourself, whatever. But again, I was brought up in that Indian culture.
Right.
It is not just the parents.
It is not just the parents.
Even if the parents are your support system, the people
whole
around
community,
you, the
yeah.
whole community is
They're
not your
parenting you.
support system.
Yeah.
They're
No, you're
parenting
right.
you. So I feel that I am still struggling with that mindset where I sometimes go back and fall back. And I'm not going to say I don't or everything's perfect and I want to look into that side that I'm going to give all that space to my kids. I keep going back and forth. Because it's just in there. It's engraved in my brain like this is how parenting should be.
Right.
And then I have to make myself aware, oh no, that's not how, because I was in that kind of a culture and in a community and a system. That's not how I want to raise my kids. And I guess that is one sole reason why my husband and I decided to stay back in this country. We were planning to move out. The moment we had our son, everything changed for us. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going back to India now. I have a child to raise.
Yeah.
And I'm going to raise my child here because probably I did not come directly face to face with my fears that that what I faced, I don't want my kids to face, you know?
Right.
But it takes time. It takes a lot of time to face those issues. And I'm still dealing with those because I'm sure we all did when we went to school or we went for our tuitions or we went for anywhere, even for extracurricular activities. There were people who were not supporting us. I would say 99% of the people, or they did not support what we did as girls. I would say,
Right.
like, gender biased,
Yeah.
very
Yep.
gender
Yeah.
biased. And I just feel that it just goes into your brain thinking, oh, this is how you get wired. Like this is how it is supposed to be. You know, I'm not differentiating between my daughters and my son while I'm raising them right now, but I do struggle.
Yeah.
I struggle and I come back and then I feel guilty and then I'm like, oh no, this happened to me. I'm not going to do this the next time.
Yeah.
You know, it's just every step is learning step for me.
So no,
while
it's
I'm
so it's
here.
so interesting that I find myself falling into the same trap. But what's better now, because I have the skill of recognizing it, so I come out of it quickly now because I know, no, that's not what I'm supposed to do.
We're at a different level.
So we have tools now. If before 10 times we were getting angry and grumpy, now maybe 2 or 3 times we're getting, but 7 to 8 times we're able to jump out of that situation. And that's what work in progress means. I'm just so excited for the journey that we're on it.
And that's what breaking the cycle also means, because I'm sure there are a lot of families who don't do that yet. They still fit into that way of like, oh, this is what my parents did and it was okay and I have to do the same thing. I want my kids to fit a certain mold.
Right.
I want my kids to look a certain way because that's what looks good on me.
Yeah.
So,
But look at that Sunday afternoon, and we could have been in parties and dancing and eating, and all 5 of us decided to be here and talk about this issue. That talks a lot about our work and our personal growth journey. You know.
Definitely. Definitely.
I do have to say though, I feel sometimes because my father lives here in this country, not too far away from us, I want to break away from the cycle and be a certain way to my kids, but then I have to also be cognizant of the fact that my father's thinking is still XYZ and it probably won't change in this life cycle, but my kids observe me turning into a different person when I interact with my father. So I do have to constantly explain. I'm like, we always have to have like a, let's have a little debrief, like as we're driving home from their nanu's house. Like, all right, guys, I know I talk about this, and this with you, and allowing you to be you, but I know that I also have to be respectful to him and what he's capable of.
All right, so I think we talked about a lot of things on how we're going to break the cycle from where all have been raised and all grew up like that. But at this time, what do you think? How do you want to model yourself for your son to see outside of this motherhood? What do you want your son to see you as?
Happy with myself
Happy with yourself?
and happy to see him grow into a man that he's supposed to be. That's how I want him to see me.
Yeah. I'll add the curiosity that I want my son to see me curious and still finding the things that light me up, so that my happiness, he's not the only source of happiness for me.
Correct.
And on top of, I think, everything, I want to continue to model resilience, because out of all the cultures, all the nations, all the research that has been done that I know, the only factor that contributes to success is the ability to fail forward.
Correct.
Everybody's gonna fail. You fall down.
Right.
The skill that you acquire to pick your pieces up and
Right.
let's go.
Right.
That resilience, I would want my child to continue seeing me modeling that.
Right.
But I want him to see that I have a life other than being a mother or somebody's partner also, that I can nurture my friendships, I can nurture my career, nurture my dreams, and still be happy with myself.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put that, and I think I had this talk with my husband once, and I said, I understand now this so much better, that just saying, Rakesh, it's your job to make me happy. How heavy burden it is for someone else to, and who can make me happy? I'm not an easy woman to hold with that. And he's looking at me, he was thinking that, is it a joke or something coming up? And I said, no, I'm really, really understanding it now, internalizing it. Why I have to say, you have to make me happy.
Yeah.
That is only my job. And
Correct.
for everybody. And then for my son also, I want him to know that, whenever he comes and we're deeply connected, it's redefining it, but I am going to be happy with myself. I'm not giving my key of happiness to anybody else,
Right.
So that's something I would really want him to see me doing that.
I feel that with me, it's like I've been trying, always trying to model, and would like to continue modeling to respect others and also model integrity. So even when no one's watching, do the right thing, and I think that I try my best, because I know they're watching me all the time. He's watching me now that he's, growing up. He sees how important it is to even respect my own self. It's the self-respect. And I keep telling him, first thing is to love yourself
Yeah.
and to respect yourself. And only then you'll move forward to love and respect others. So I know he says, he sees me saying that all the time, and I do not do that justice to myself right now, but I want to work on that and love myself more. Yes. Yeah, and he's seeing that. I know. Yeah, but he reminds me too, like, Mom, why don't you just take a break and not do this today? Because you need that break. You need to just sit down. Even if you see something is not done that you thought you would finish today, just let it be. And we do have that struggle, and I keep telling him that I have to work on myself, and I want him to see that I'm working on that, and I want him to learn from that, that
Right.
we need to focus on how we want to be, because what we are is what we're going to give to others around
Right.
us, within the system, within the family itself. So that is my focus on modeling, to not just him, to my daughters too, because they're going to go and take over another families, and they're going to be responsible. Like, again, it's just sometimes I feel that no matter how much we try not to be gender biased, but again, it comes down to women. We have to hold everything together. So we have I feel more like I have to put in that effort with my daughters to make sure that they focus on themselves, when they grow
Right.
up, or starting from now itself. And that's what I want to model for my son too.
Right.
Anybody else want to chime in? I think my sons have always watched me sort of recreate myself and have that growth and have multiple interests. I mean, having to start all over from being divorced when they were so young. So I think they've seen that, and they've always observed that, and I think they appreciate that. What I really want them to know is the importance of like recharging my batteries. Like just literally, I want them, and I know they recognize it in me. But I want them to also recognize it in their daughters, in their partners, their mother-in-laws, their wives, whomever, girlfriends. Just know that, like when, especially women, when we have to ask for time, like I just need a break, we've already gone too far. We've gone like days too far probably, right? And so
Yeah.
I want them to recognize, like, you said that, your son says, what can I do to help? Well, you're not making my life easier. I mean, and you are, but like understand that it's for everybody.
Right,
Like we
right.
do so much, we give it our all, and they know this. I've given my absolute 100 best to my kids, to our home, to our community, to our structure, to our our extended family, even to my ex and to his family. Like they've seen that, but they also I believe that they see in me that, all right, you need a break. And so they'll ask me sometimes when I'm working, Mom, can I get you some water? I'm like, Beta, you don't even have to ask. I
Yeah.
always need water. Like, bring me water, my son now even learned how to make me coffee. So I was like, they know I'm, busy in my office. So I want them to know how important that is
Yeah.
in all their relationships, in future, and to bring that to them.
How cute that sounds.
Yeah.
I don't know if I explicitly said it in my house, that before I say I need a break, somebody to really recognize that, okay, I'm tired and I need a break. Thank you.
I want
Thank
other
you.
people to be cued into your needs
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
We cannot be cued into everyone's needs all the time, right?
We
So-
recognize everything that they need.
Yeah.
It should be like give and take.
Yeah,
They
give and
should be
take,
able to
true.
see also for others around
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, what I definitely want to model for my son is this: how we navigate the world as a human being, and not play certain roles. Because, like how you were saying, Conjit, that you have a father that you have to navigate differently. My in-laws, they also live with us, so they primarily are here. So we have to navigate different kind of rules and value systems when they're around with the kids. So I want to teach my son that, kind of borrowing from you, Babita, that word resilience is that, you can navigate all these worlds and still stay respectful of each other's differences, right? And still kind of live up to your own value system. My value system is to be independent, to advocate for, for people's rights. So kind of still do that, but do that in a respectful way that allows everyone to kind of exist in their own sense. And for me, that has become the kind of a motto. Like, that is something that I want to teach my both my daughter and my son, is that you stay true to yourself, and you still kind of carry forward the culture and the legacy that you have received from the generations before you. So
Because all of it is positives, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
like you take the positive from all the different aspects of and facets of the
Exactly,
culture, the
exactly,
community, the
exactly.
life, the generations.
and there are things that you don't agree with, and you challenge those, and then you still kind of move forward with that.
Yeah.
So.
This is going so good, guys. We're on to our last question. So, what is one hope that you carry on for your son? And what is one hope for yourself that you want to have moving forward?
I think I'll take that one. So for him, I want to see him grow up into a kind, confident, and independent man. A man who is going to be a wonderful boyfriend, or a husband, or a father, or even a grandfather at one point of time. I hope I can see that. That's not gonna happen. But I want him to have a wonderful life journey. And with him, I want to grow on the side. And I would say that I want to navigate life with him as I grow. So I want to see, I want to be resilient. I want to be open-minded with him. And I want to just grow old with my husband, with him on the side, and my daughters, of course. They're going to have their own families, right? But it's just always being involved in each other's life. They're not going to stay with us. But staying is not just physically. So the connection between all of us is what I hope and I wish stays alive forever.
So I'm also more aligned with you. For my son, my deepest hope is that he builds his life that's rooted in kindness and purpose. And then he can build meaningful relationships and with the highest form of gratitude, and he's still chasing for the things that excites him, but still grounded in gratitude and building relationships, and he has a home filled with love,
Respect and love.
for me, as I am ahead of all of you in the stages of where our sons are, so yes, I wanna discover more what's out there outside the motherhood, and I'm one of those who have so many hobbies that I have to now season my hobbies, that I can't do all of them in one season. But I have intentionally and purposefully set some intentions moving forward, and I've been thinking about it for many years now. Whoever my son brings home in terms of his wedding and the girl and partner, I have set my intention already that I am going to pour all my love to her. And I'm going to welcome her with my absolutely warmest heart. And I'm never going to be the reason ever. And I just said it to my husband 2 days ago. I will never be the reason that he has to decide. Do I choose my mom? Do I choose I will never give him that reason. And I practice that, saying it to myself over and over so that it becomes the ritual for me. So when that situation comes, it's not an unfamiliar term. And something that the example that I give it to my husband all the time, just think about it. If we keep our son in the house and we say, you have to marry, you have to bring your girl over here, this is the house that every corner I have decorated the way I wanted it. Now the new girl comes in, I'm gonna say, this is your home. But if she comes and looks at my kitchen table, the white set, and she said, oh, I don't like that, and I'm just gonna look at her, oh, this is what I selected. So this whole thing is so dysfunctional that I would never steal someone's dream of building a house, because this is every girl's dream to build my own house, to decorate. Why would I be the one stealing somebody else's dream? So that's something I practice reminding myself over and over, so that becomes part of me. And then we'll see moving on how we do it. But that for me, that is the key right now.
Right.
You want to go?
Did you answer already?
No, I didn't answer that
so
question.
go ahead.
So, my hope for my son's future is to kind of stay. The way I see it is that a family is like a tree, and so you stay connected with the roots, and the branches grow, right? And the branches kind of grow in different directions, but we still very much stay connected to the roots. So that's my hope, is that you fly wherever you want to fly, but you always come back, and you find. And my hope is that I create that space for him to come back home and to feel like this is my safe place. This is the place that I can come and rest my head if I'm struggling with the world.
So true.
Yes.
So important.
Yeah.
Well, my hope for my son is to be happy. Really be happy. Whatever you want to do in life, just be happy and connect with your inner soul. Because when you are happy within, you make other people happy, you know? And never give up. Never give up in life. Everything works out in the end. And happiness is the key to success. That's it. That's what and for me, I just want God to give me the strength and the health to see him grow into a man that I always dreamt that he will become one day. And he is on that path. So I'm happy. Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
thank you for making me a mom, Ashwin, really. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I have to thank my sons for just everything that they've taught me also. And I think what I want them to carry into their future, I mean, they know that our home, our base, it's always been an open door policy. Even with a divorce, a very strong relationship with their father and his new wife and their family. And it literally is an open door policy.
Right.
So all holidays, I mean, you mentioned like the tree and the foundation and the roots. We actually have a tree, like a collage on a wall with everyone's pictures, including my ex and his family,
Beautiful.
because
Wow.
the kids need to see
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they have family on both sides,
Right.
and it's not like division and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so this open door, they've brought troubled friends. They've brought,
Yeah.
our house literally has been that kind of a base.
Shelter
And I
for-
want
yeah.
them to know that even whoever becomes their partner and their family, like, know that this house is going to be there. And the house is not brick and mortar. It's the sense of community.
like-
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
wherever we are, there's always going to be a place, like you can always squeeze in. I mean, in India, you can have 50
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
in one room.
That's
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not about the size physically. It's your heart that's
heart.
big.
Exactly.
And so
yeah.
that they always have that sense of community, and they have that with their father, their stepmom, their stepfather, like all the sets
Yeah.
of grandparents. So just keep rooted.
Right,
I know they'll
right.
make the right decisions, because that's what we've been sending them to school and
Right.
teaching them at
Yeah.
home to grow, evolve, learn, be kind people,
Right.
but-
Kindness.
Exactly.
Being
right.
empathetic. Be, yeah.
Empathetic,
Compassion.
right?
Compassion,
Yeah.
exactly.
But know
Very
that
important.
this is where they learned it from. Is
Right.
from their roots of all members. not
Correct.
just
Yeah.
me, like
Yes.
they're every
Everyone,
member,
Yeah.
right?
yes.
So we all have their back. So
Yeah.
to just
Yeah.
keep that sense of community going.
Is
forward.
there one thing that you don't want your son to be like, or don't want him to be that way? Is there something that you will hate to see him be in a certain way? Like, for example, I would hate to see my son being materialistic. I think
I'm okay with being materialistic. I am one of those who's walking on Buddha's path, but with all my comforts. If I want to cry, I'm gonna cry under my gazebo. I like that, so I'm okay with that. When you,
I mean that is okay, but when material things
I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
to say
yeah, yeah.
materialistic
Being
thoughts
human, yeah.
just takes over your, emotional or
and
your,
I
yeah.
hope that he doesn't do that, because especially because he wants to be a doctor, so of course he would have to give with all his heart. But that is one thing that I've told him: never judge anybody by what kind of money they make, what kind of house they live in. So if he becomes like that, I would be like, that's it, done.
For me, the kindness always beating everything. I absolutely, even growing up, we never rewarded them with the gifts and
Yeah.
awards and all of that, but we always highlighted the things when they did the act of kindness.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
I would hate my son to be unkind to anyone or not have the gratitude for the abundance that he's
Yeah.
getting into. Those two things, I'm not gonna want that.
I echo the
I-
same
I don't
feelings,
have-
I guess. It's the kindness and the gratitude.
Yeah.
It's so,
So
important.
important.
Like in every single step of life. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah.
What you are is just, it begins with those two,
Yeah.
things. They are the
Yeah.
foundation to who you
and
are.
I think when you have that foundation,
Yeah.
I have just recently discovered it's okay to have material things and possessions because it's what your intentions are and what you want to do.
Correct.
I never think that if you have abundance, you should feel guilty for it.
Right.
I think if you have it, it's what you're going to do with it, and that's based off of your character. Again, like I always say, our house is small, but our heart is big.
Right.
Doesn't matter how much money I have, I'll always feel like my heart is going to be bigger.
Big.
And
Yeah.
so I never want my kids to feel stifled in any way about the abundance that they could potentially receive because I know what they'll do with it. I know my youngest is going to open up like a zoo somewhere.
Right.
You know, my oldest, actually my youngest will open up a zoo and a place for the elderly. He's got this connection with the
Aw,
elderly.
Yeah.
so
So I know
sweet.
that's something that he would do, and that's why I don't want to stop them from material. I'm like, get it and do good with it. You
Yeah,
know,
no, you're
pay it
right.
Forward.
Yeah, when I pray for him, I always say that it's a very tough path to be a physician in this country, right? I mean, 10, 12 years of college and then whatever. I mean, he's chosen such a difficult path, and I always pray that God, if he has chosen that path, just help him because he wants to help other people. You
Right.
know, he doesn't want to earn money for himself, and so many other kids who want to be a doctor. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they're doing it because they really want to give back. That's their passion. So I'm like, please.
Just
help
it's
them.
funny that I'm doing the same prayer for my son. He's a content creator, but he's helping so many others, and that's exactly what I feel like. Do you want to go for the poetry before we close out?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite poems from Khalil Gibran.
Oh, I love him.
He's the one who taught me. You know, you give birth, you don't own
Your
them.
children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself.
True.
They come through you, but not from you.
Correct.
And though they are with you, yet they not belong to you.
Correct.
You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts.
Yes.
You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow,
Wow.
which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable.
Wow.
So let be the bows that are stable for them,
Right.
so that they can fly.
Absolutely.
So I read the first part of this at my 50th birthday party.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll share it in the group.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this was beautiful. This was a beautiful conversation. Thank you, ladies, for showing up with honesty, humor, and love.
Thank you for
Thank you. And then and just ending it with being a mother is messy and magical all at once. As Buddha says, that attachment is the biggest reason for suffering.
Yes.
These kids, let me tell you, they are the source of true happiness, but they are the ones, are the reasons for suffering, you know? I think today's conversation was a great reminder to us that being motherhood is not about holding on, but it's holding a space for them where they can return. And I love the way you said that my goal is to create that safe space that wherever he goes, he comes back. So this was beautiful, ladies. Thank you for watching. To all those moms who are listening to us, you are doing a way better job than you think about it. And give your son a tighter hug tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Woo-hoo. We did it. Cut.